Schools are scrambling. We've seen a few K-12 schools in Los Angeles, Ohio, Michigan, and Maryland announcing weeks-long closures as part of a broad attempt to contain the spread of the coronavirus. And it comes as many universities are transitioning to all online classes as well in a bid to avoid face-to-face instruction. Joining us now to discuss is a professor at Columbia University's Teachers College, Lalitha Vasudevan, along with Yahoo Finance's Reggie Wade. And Professor, I'll just start with you because we're seeing a lot of schools have to do this. What kind of changes do you think is going to be coming down the line to make this, I don't know if it's going to be smooth, but what can be done to try and make it smooth as we shift online?
Well, I think what you just said, it's not going to be smooth. And I think a lot of people are recognizing that what we need to do right now, first and foremost, is recognize that this bumpy time that we're in is going to be bumpy for a while. And I think universities are doing a really good job, or they're trying to, by communicating. I think your last guest talked about the need for really open communication, the need to be really clear about what is expected, what resources are available. And we're also seeing a lot of peer-to-peer sharing of resources. And so part of what I keep seeing over and over again, both in my own university, but also with colleagues around the country, and in some cases around the world, as the whole world is grappling with this, are questions of not only how do we retain a kind of commitment to the educational practices and that we want to promote and cultivate with our students, but how do we do that in this time with limited resources, because we also can't assume the resources that our students have. And I think that's the thing that's coming up, that a lot of people are coming up against. How do we continue to maintain quality of instruction while still attending to the many ways in which our students might be limited in the way that they can access the kinds of instruction that we're able to offer?
Yeah, not easy. And I know, Reggie, I mean, you were a teacher before, too, so yes, you know this better than anybody.
Yes, and Professor, I want to ask you, as a former teacher, I know that student engagement is key to a quality education. Do you feel that some of the technologies that are at your disposal as a professor up to the task of doing this large online education?
Yeah, you know, for over a decade, probably a couple of decades now, universities have been playing with and increasing their use of different technologies, different platforms, different ways of creating more forms of participation. And we have a lot of experts here at our college and around the country and around the world who are thinking about how do you use technology to lower barriers to participation. And really, technology in education can be used to create more inclusive environments, to increase participation. What is happening now, right now, is an emergency situation. We are encountering not the ideal contexts and conditions for experimenting with tools and technologies, but many of my colleagues around the world are facing this kind of urgency to continue, to continue education, engage in academic continuity, while still trying to figure out, and for many of them, new tools. And so one of the things that I'm seeing happening is this kind of call for simplicity over sophistication, this reminder that what we need to do in this first hurdle is to just stay connected, to be clear and communicative with our students, with our colleagues, our institutions, and to do what we can to be supportive, because many of our students, we have graduate students here at Teachers College, they're also adults with families and responsibilities. And so as we're experiencing this kind of urgent call to go online and remote learning, as your guest just talked about, many companies and organizations are also going on to remote learning. So we're having to negotiate this kind of commitment to academic security, right, with all these other forces at play.
No, it's very tricky, and it's one thing to teach college online. It's a totally different thing to teach second grade online. I don't know if that's as doable here, but Professor, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on that, along with Reggie Wade. Appreciate you taking the time, man. Hey, investors, Zack Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.